Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Wide open, the sun's shining brightly in the west, and everybody is anxious for the resolution to this series. Each team has won a game in this three-game set. Brett Cecil is back in the big leagues, and the Pirates are trying to win a road series for the first time in interleague play since 2003. Alex Presley, Chase Dorneau, and Andrew McCutcheon. McCutcheon moves up into the third spot tonight. Matt Diaz, Lyle Overbay, Ronnie Cedeno. Middle of the order. Former Angel Brandon Wood is in the DH spot tonight. The right-handed hitter to face Brett Cecil. Josh Harrison gets the first start of the series at second, and Michael McKendry back behind the plate tonight.
Just two lefties in that lineup for the Pirates as Brett Cecil takes the mound. The last time we saw him, it was April the 20th against the New York Yankees. He took the loss in that game, 6-2, allowed 5 runs in 5 innings. He was optioned down to AAA after that game to work on getting himself back into big league mode, using that good fastball to set up his other stuff. He went down there, had good results towards the end of his stay down there. Here he is back, and watching him warm up, it looks like his fastball is back to where it was last year.
Alex Presley, the left fielder, will stand in, and we are set for play. Shows bunt and pulls the bat back. 92 miles an hour on the radar gun. That's already an improvement from what we saw in his first 4 starts.
Yeah, it just wasn't there. He could get about 5 innings in, and that was about it.
Ball was popped out of play. It's not all about radar gun ratings and velocity. It's about location of the pitch, late movement in the zone, and the fastball velocity gets overrated most of the time. Ball and a strike. Good fastball on the outside corner. 3 pitches, 3 fastballs.
And where it is, I think that's what you were just talking about, is you can throw it 88, 90, 92 miles an hour, but where is that pitch? That time it was very good on the outside part of the plate and down.
The ball is lined toward the gap, and that's going to split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall. Presley is headed for third base. The throw from the outfield will be late at third. A leadoff triple for Alex Presley. He's had a good run here in this series since being called up from AAA Indianapolis.
Just a couple of days ago. This time they go back inside, and it slides out over the plate right towards the barrel of the bat. If you want to throw those breaking balls to lefties, you got to get it away. If not, it's right in the middle of that bat, and he slices it into left field. He's had a good series, Presley. Homered his first big league home run the other day. Played good defense and gets him off to a good start here tonight.
His first big league home run was a 2-run shot on Tuesday night against JoJo Reyes. Chase Dorneau, the third baseman. Bouncing ball to third. Presley has to hold his ground. John Farrell, the manager of the Blue Jays, knows all about pitching, and he says there's a lot more to a fastball than just pure velocity.
Well, when you've got a pitcher who's pitching aggressively and attacking the zone, you'll see an attitude emanate from that in that approach. So much the life of the fastball as it enters and travels through the strike zone has as much to do with success as just the pure velocity reading on the radar gun. So the reaction of the hitter will dictate and show us a lot of that. And I know with he and JP working, they'll be able to read swings and when to use their secondary pitches when needed.
So reading bats, I think, is very important. And what that means is if you are throwing your fastball where you want to, the reaction of the hitter will tell you if he's right on it or not. If he is, then you're going to have to try something else, maybe slow it down a little bit, throw a couple of change-ups, maybe a curveball here and there. Reading the bat is very important for both the pitcher and the catcher.
Andrew McCutchen pushed back with the fastball. And over the years, a lot of pitchers can't read the bat. They just lose track of the bat. They lose track of the ball. Their head's jerked off the side. They can't really see what happens. Veteran pitchers, a lot of pitchers that really can carve up a lineup if they can really see where that bat's crossing that hitting zone.
Best I ever saw about that, Greg Maddux. I mean, the professor was outstanding on that mound where he had a great feel for pitching. His wasn't about stuff. His was about that feel for pitching and throwing it where he needed to, and he could read those bats, really understand what hitters were trying to do to him, and then he would go against that and then attack their weaknesses.
2-1 to McCutchen. Bouncing ball to third. Bautista thought about home, but will go to first to throw out McCutchen. Presley comes in to score the first run of the ball game.
Good base running there by the youngster for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Presley read the ball. He was going on contact. They didn't want to waste a leadoff triple here in the first inning. Bautista had thoughts of maybe going to home, but the jump was just too good at third base, and the Pirates jump ahead early.
Matt Diaz is playing in right field tonight. He's also hitting in the cleanup spot and goes after a first pitch changeup. He saw that pattern of first pitch fastballs and he was sitting all over it.
He was ready for it and he didn't get it. 3 hits the other night against left-hander Jojo Reyes. That was a season high for Diaz.
Late on the fastball. We have not seen this velocity from Brett Cecil. We mentioned his first 4 starts back in April. He didn't have the ability to throw 90 miles an hour. It just wasn't there. So that's the great sign. And that's what they wanted to accomplish by sending him back to the minors, to build up his arm strength and get that fastball a little bit harder. Just off the plate.
And the best way to do that, go down there and throw 4-seam fastballs. And that's what Cecil was telling me the other day, that he went down there. He said, I really wanted to establish my 4-seam fastball again. Really just air it out and get that feel again.
Just missed the inside corner with the fastball. And you can see too, when the velocity is a little higher, there's a lot of late life in his fastball. And that's what gets the broken bats. That's what takes the ball off the sweet spot barrel of the bat. 2-2, 2 outs. Right back over the mound into center field. Looked like the changeup that stayed up out over the plate.
Diaz was looking for it there with 2 strikes, a 2-strike approach. The scouting report for Brett Cecil is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. The velocity is back. With more fastballs using that 4-seamer, it is back to where it should be. Full complement of pitches. He's got the fastball, the curve, the slider. Changeup is a very good pitch for him, and he needs to drive that fastball down in the strike zone. When he's doing that, staying behind it and driving it down, that's where he gets most of his miles per hour.
Former Blue Jay Lyle Overbay will stand in with 1 out, 2 outs, and 1 in. Goes after the first pitch. Overbay singled in 3 at bats. He had a walk last night as well. He also had a single and scored a run on Tuesday night in the series opener. Batting just .230. And he's off to a little bit of a slow start with his new team. Diaz doesn't run often, but he's very good when he picks his spots. He's 4 for 4. These are the kind of situations where kind of catch a pitcher flat-footed and you can get yourself in the scoring position with 2 outs.
Not taking a very big lead over there at first base. Both of his feet on the dirt. Delay steal comes to mind whenever I see big runners like Matt Diaz get those stolen bases. You mentioned the 4 for 4.
Overbay fouls it off. I played 5 years here with the Blue Jays, and Adam Lind has taken over at first base and done a good job. And I'm not ready to put Adam Lind in Overbay's category with the glove, but certainly has gotten very comfortable very quickly at first. Come on and missed. Overbay strikes out to end the first, but the Pirates, after a leadoff triple by Alex Presley, have scored the first run of the ball game. Overbay strikes out. The Blue Jays lead the American League in strikeouts. By TD Canada Trust. Banking can be this comfortable. The Blue Jays have hit 5 home runs in this series. They're trying to get their record to 541. Escobar, Thames, Bautista. Lind Encarnacion has swinging a hot bat. He's hit 2 home runs in this series. Aaron Hill, Corey Patterson returns to left field. JP Aaron-Seavey in the 8th spot, and Rajai Davis had a couple of doubles last night.
And the Pirates have given up 8 home runs over the last 4 games. Karsten has given up 14 as he takes the mound for his 18th start. He's had a fine month of June. 2-0, 1.31 earned run average in his 5 starts. Last time out, gave up 3 of his 5 earned runs that he's given up all month. That was against the Boston Red Sox. There are the home runs right there.
Escobar shows bunt, takes a strike. It's 0-2. You know, Escobar had the game-winning hit in last night's game. RBI double in the 7th. He chased home Rajai Davis, who had come up with a 1-out double. 2-1 ball game. Blue Jays pounded out 9 hits, but went 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. There's a base hit into right field. Escobar with the leadoff single. Eric Thames has done a good job swinging the bat in his second go-round. Last night, he hit his first big league home run.
Shows you the type of power that he possesses in that bat. A pitch that was away from him as he's able to stay right on it and drive the ball the other way. Gets around those bases. High fives all the way around for Thames with that first big league home run. I'm sure there's many more to come.
What did he say about his home run truck?
Just put your head down. I haven't been in the big leagues long enough. Put your head down and just run.
I love it. So Thames with Escobar at first. This is where Karstens has had trouble. Left-handed hitters have worn him out. They've hit 9 of those 14 home runs. Thames hitting right on 300. Looping liner into center. That'll get down in front of McCutchen, and Escobar will go first to third. Good read off the bat for the Blue Jays shortstop. Storming right back here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, it also looked like Escobar might have decoyed McCutchen a little bit on that line drive to center field. Fastball away again. He stays right with it. He might not have gotten it on the sweet spot, but he got it out into the outfield. You see Escobar coming out, slowing down just a little bit, and then when he realizes that McCutchen is laying back on it, motors on into third base.
Blue Jays with a great opportunity to erase that one-run lead. Thames with another good at-bat. Jose Bautista. Jose was just 1 for 2 last night. He walked twice. Off-speed pitch. He's out in front. Blue Jays haven't had many hitters that have faced Karstens in the past. Jose Bautista is one of them. 52 driven in for the Blue Jays third baseman. Breaking ball, he's out in front. That ball's going to hook into the seats. Blue Jays really starting to heat up. They have 9 hits in each of the first 2 games of this series, and there's production across the board.
Right after that Atlanta series, it seemed like the batters, after the off day, started getting it together. Bautista, look at his numbers: 3 homers, 6 walks in his last 7. Escobar setting the table at 412 up there, and Edwin Encarnacion starting to carry the big pole to the plate. 3 home runs in his last few games.
Bautista in a hole, 0-2. Karstens is 28 years old. He was a top prospect in the Yankees system. Made it to the big leagues with New York.
Pitched out of the bullpen the last couple of years, and there was talk that he didn't have the stamina to thrive as a starter. He stepped into Ross Ollendorf's spot in the rotation the second week of the season and really has taken that label and thrown it off his back. He can pitch.
Bautista fights it off and stays alive. Karstens was obtained by the Pirates from the New York Yankees, as we mentioned, along with Ross Ollendorf and Daniel McCutchen. Also in that deal, Jose Tabata, who is currently on the disabled list. Xavier Nady and Damaso Marte went from Pittsburgh to the Yankees.
I think the Pirates got the better of that trade, as Marte is out for the year.
Bautista, first base, over base, coming home, and the tag at the plate. Escobar is out. Kyle Overbay has one of the best arms of a first baseman in big leagues, and he made a good play to glove it, jumped to his feet, threw a strike home.
You know, and the awareness of Overbay, knowing he wasn't going to turn 2 on that play, trying to get that lead runner any way he can. Heads up play by Overbay. Remember, he's holding that runner on the bag, and he comes off very quickly. As you see Escobar coming home, he takes a quick look, and then with that fine arm throws him out at the plate.
Escobar going on contact, and the throw's a good one, and the tag by McHenry.
That's just a heads up play by Overbay at first base, being aware of the situation.
Breaking ball catches the outside corner. Adam Linden had a big month of June. Posted those numbers up. 16 and 49 in the power category. 16 homers, 49 driven in.
9 of those home runs this month for Lynn.
Paul Konerko led the American League hitters with 10 home runs in June. J.J. Hardy also had 9. He's really come on for the Orioles. There's a group of 3 hitters with 8. Nelson Cruz, Miguel Olivo, and Mark Teixeira. Teixeira's hit his 8th this afternoon. Ball gets fouled off and cut past the catcher, but it was a foul ball.
There's a lot of other hitters that have had some big months in the month of June.
Guys that have come on quietly, like Evan Longoria. He had 24 ribbies for Tampa Bay. Look at Nick Swisher. He too drove in 23 runs, one more than Lind. Lind had 22 for the month, and the month's not over yet. Nick Swisher came out of nowhere. He had 7 home runs this month. It's a bouncing ball. This could be 2. Harrison to short for 1, back to second, and Karstens pitches out of a first inning jam. First and third, nobody out, and the Blue Jays can't do a thing with it. Last night they were 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Brett Cecil set to start the second inning here. Pirates got a single run in the first. Cecil struck out Lyle Overbay to end the Pirates inning. Shortstop Ronnie Cedeno moves up into the 6th spot tonight. Late on that fastball. Boy, I tell you what, no matter who you are, how hard you throw, you make quality pitches down in the zone, you got a chance to win.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be 95 miles an hour. You can throw it down there with a little action on it, and you'll be just fine.
There's that good changeup, and the fastball set up the strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Brett Cecil.
There's been so many pitchers over the years that get by with stuff that is not electric, not off the charts, if you will. Names that come to mind are people like Jamie Moyer comes to mind, left-hander who's been around forever. Greg Maddux, we talked about him last inning. You just know how to pitch. And I think Cecil can be that guy with a little bit of extra.
Blue Jays had a perfect pitcher in that category in Sean Markham.
Great example. Markham can really pull the string on that changeup. Has a feel when he is out there.
Brandon Wood is in a hole 0-2. And it's not about how hard you throw, it's about how you command the strike zone. You can command it in and out, up and down, and back and forth. Another changeup. Cecil makes quick work of Brandon Wood.
Getting the scouting report on hitters is so important. There's the changeup grip. And he knows that Brandon Wood loves the fastball and is really sitting on that fastball all the time. You can see how out in front he is. He'll strike out a lot. Cecil has 3 in a row now.
Josh Harrison making his first start of the series at second base. Harrison was up earlier, was sent back down to AAA, and has just been recalled. He was recalled at the start of this series.
Got him playing some second base tonight, but he can also play third base.
Hits this ball to right field. Eric Thames retreats on the warning track and hauls it in. A 3 up, 3 down second inning. Brett Cecil with 3 strikeouts so far. Will start things off in the second inning, and it appears as though his stroke has come around, and it's coincidental with his playing in the DH role.
He has DH 22 games. He's also played third base 23 games. There's also a couple of games at first base, but clearly the numbers speak that when he doesn't have to worry about his fielding, when all he has to worry about is how far he can hit the ball, his numbers are so much better. 333 on base plus slugging, much better average when he is the DH. Just 28 years old, so I'm sure that he doesn't want to be labeled this early in his career as a DH, but the numbers really bear out that he is much better when he just has to worry about hitting.
Well, he can look around and see the situation that has unfolded here with Bautista moving to third. He's going to take his at-bats wherever he can get him right now. See if he can't get that stroke going. Hot shot to third. Garneau takes it on the hop.
You'll get a lot of ground ball outs, a lot of balls in play when Jeff Karsten's on the mound. The scouting report for him, 4 quadrants of strikes. With his fastball, curveball, slider, he can go to every one of them. His best pitch is the changeup. He'll throw that anytime in the count. Runs are hard to come by. 266 earned run average for Karsten's, which is 5th best in the National League.
Second baseman Aaron Hill takes a strike. You better have it ready when you step in against Carson. He's going to throw first pitch strikes.
He has given up, and we talked about it a little bit in the first inning. He's given up almost as many home runs as base on balls this year. He's given up 14 home runs, and he's only walked 17 batters all season long.
Because he doesn't walk many, the impact of those home runs isn't that dramatic. Gave up 3 home runs in his last start against Boston to 3 left-handed hitters, but still came out of it with a W. Went 6 2/3, held the Red Sox just 6 hits. Pittsburgh 40-39, and they are just 3 games back in the NL Central, and it has a lot to do with how well they have pitched since the 17th of May.
And look at those averages. Everybody knows who's on the Phillies, and we've talked about the Mariners, all the big studs that they have, but the Pirates right there.
Ball is slicing into the gap, but McCutcheon's got great speed, makes an easy play of it. 2 down here in the second.
You know the interesting thing about that stat where they are up there with the Giants and the Braves, the Pirates pitching staff does it a little bit differently than everybody else. They are basically sinker, slider, changeup, keep the ball in play, pitch to contact, where those other teams that we saw up there are fireballers, get a lot of strikeouts, a lot of innings pitched.
Now, like Karsten's, the starters and the rest of the starters on this staff put it in play and turn it over to a very good infield defense.
That's right. There are some writers that have been writing about the first half of the season for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they named Jeff Karsten's their first half MVP. How he has solidified that starting rotation, and he's stabilized that rotation. A lot of it has to do with the man we just saw there, Ray Searage, the pitching coach for the Pirates. I was talking to him the other day and telling about his staff. And he says, you know what? Best thing that I've told him is just to keep it simple. Just get out there and throw strikes, keep the ball down, and let everything else just happen.
I think the one thing that happens to a lot of this generation's pitchers, so many of them haven't hit. Throughout high school into college, they're pitchers. They don't really play multiple positions, and oftentimes they give the hitters way too much credit. The curveball missed downstairs. Full count. 2 outs. We are in the second inning. Pittsburgh scored a first inning run. Big bouncing ball for Harrison at second. Carson has another good inning. A 1-2-3 second inning. Brett Cecil, his first start since April. his record to 4-4 on the season with 7 strong innings, including 10 strikeouts.
Here it is right there. Fastball, strike one. I think that was the whole key to Morrow over his last 3 starts. Fastball command, executing with runners on base, finishing off innings, and using his slider a little bit more. Still very good. John Farrell was talking about that before the game, that he hasn't been able to, or hasn't had to throw many curveballs.
Now, we had talked about that fact yesterday, when a starting pitcher can command 3 pitches, that's about all you need. That 4th one's just a luxury. You can flip it up there every once in a while for a get-ahead strike. But other than that, like we saw with Morrow, 3 pitches will do the trick. Morrow's ERA has dropped to 4.56 on a pretty good stretch. The catcher, Michael McHenry, is in a hole.
A pitch for show, right? Right now, that pitch for show for Brett Cecil was that good curveball there. Threw that one over for strike. Basically, fastball, slider, changeup, and he'll use that curveball to drop it in on right-handers.
Off-speed pitch down and away, and McHenry stays alive. The Pirates have really been hit by the injury bug, especially behind the plate. McHenry's one of 7 starters Pittsburgh has had to use this year behind the plate. Popped him up on the infield. Escobar, the shortstop. 1 out. There's good use of that fastball, and we talk about it all the time. Big league hitters, I don't care how good they are, they shorten up with 2 strikes, want to put the ball in play, and then that good fastball can catch them off guard.
Especially the one that's just out of the strike zone that's up. As a hitter, it just looks so enticing. And you feel like you can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Tough to get on top of that one.
Back to the top of the order, Alex Presley tripled and scored the only run of this ball game. Pitch strike ratio so far for Cecil, and that was the goal. Throw it over. Every time a pitcher gets ahead of a hitter, that hitter becomes less aggressive. You get the count in your favor, you feel like you got a few pitches to work with, and that's when you can really grip that bat and think about doing some damage.
You come a little bit loose at the plate. You know, you say, okay, throw it in there. I'm going to take my most healthy cut. You see the ball just a little bit better. You relax just a little bit more when you're ahead in the count.
4-pitch walk. Presley's on for a 2nd time.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Perfect night for baseball here at Rogers Center. The roof is wide open. CN Tower standing guard. The last day of June. First pitch strike to Chase Dono, the 3rd baseman. Blue Jays have played half their schedule. This is the first game of the 2nd half, the 82nd game of the season.
Where did it go?
Wow.
A lot has happened, though. You know, it came out of spring training, and you can make all your plans for the 6 weeks that you spend down in Florida. You come here and it can change in a heartbeat.
Changed for the Blue Jays before they left Florida, with Bautista playing 3rd all spring, and then he ended up starting the season in right. Bouncing ball to 3rd. Bautista rights himself, throws a strike. Dono's retired. Presley moves up to 2nd. Take a look at the score sheet after 81 games, and you compare it to a year ago. Record's about the same, but look at the improvement in the pitching, the average, and the runs per game just about the same.
Yeah, everything about the same. They're hitting for a little bit higher average, and that's why the home runs are a little bit lower. They're scoring runs at the same rate, but just doing it a little bit differently. record about the same, right around 500. John Farrell's had a lot to deal with the first half of the season. People in and out of the lineup, injuries, demotions. I mean, when they started the season, and now halfway through, 3/5 of their starting rotation that they were counting on has been down to the minor leagues.
Brett Cecil went down at the end of April. Jesse Litch went down and then injured himself. And Kyle Drabek has just been sent back to AAA. 2-0 to Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen drove in the Pirates' run with a ground ball to third base.
You'll have to be careful with McCutchen in an RBI situation here. 329 versus lefties. He has also hit 4 home runs against the lefties, so you can see Cecil being very careful with him.
Off speed pitch. That's how you diffuse a hard charging good hitter like McCutchen. You go soft when he's thinking hard. That's part of reading the bat. You've mentioned that earlier. We talk about some of the guys that could do it, and Sean Markham certainly was one of those guys. I mean, he would throw 3 pitches in a row if he knew the hitter was late on a particular pitch.
And it's doubly hard when you've got a catcher sitting back there reading bats, understanding.
There's a drive to left field. Corey Patterson on the run makes the great catch. That's the 3rd out of the inning. Alex Presley got all messed up. He thought there was less than 2 outs, but Patterson ends it with a fine defensive catch in left. Pre-game set. He'll go against Kyle Kendrick. And when you look at that tomorrow, the pre-game show, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time, Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn will have a great feature looking at Ken McKenzie's career. He went from Gore Bay, Ontario to the big leagues. Made it to Milwaukee with the Braves in 1960, and he was part of Casey Stengel's Mets team in 1962. And you get a great opportunity to see Ken McKenzie from Gore Bay, Ontario, and how he made it to the big leagues. J.P. Ancibia grounds out to the third baseman, first out of the 3rd inning. Mark Carson's done a good job of taking the sting out of the Blue Jays bats.
By using breaking ball, using a changeup, his curveball, and that's what the Pirate pitchers do. What a difference a year makes for the Pittsburgh Pirates starters and where they are now as compared to last year. A year ago today, Jeff Karstens was 3-10 with an ERA of about 5 for the Pirates. This year his ERA 5th best in the National League.
Rajai Davis had a good night last night. He scored the winning run. He had a couple of doubles. Another fastball. This one's downstairs. The ball on the strike. 1-0 ball game. Bottom of the third inning. Changeup outside. Another changeup. This one was up and he pulled it foul. Talk about Carstens and how he turned things around. That's a dramatic improvement, especially in the ERA.
Yeah, and it's not just him. Pitching contact just a little bit more challenging to hitters. And with that, wins will come.
Popped up, foul ground. The third baseman has been busy. Chase Darno with the catch.
You know, you can say that about a few of the starters for the Pirates. A year ago, Charlie Morton for Pittsburgh was 2-12 this time of the year with an ERA of about 87-4 this year. Paul Maholm, who we saw last night, got a losing record at 4-8, but his ERA is very good at 3.2. A year ago, it was over 5. So a lot of these starters getting it done for the Pirates this year.
Charlie Morton's 27 years old, started out with the Atlanta Braves and has really turned things around. First 2 years with Pittsburgh, he was 5-9, and then, as Pat mentioned, 2-12. That is the top of the strike zone. Escobar wanted to make sure that's as high as it goes.
This is right where he was in the first inning when he singled on an 0-2 pitch to right field. Let's see if Carstens tries something different. First time up, he tried to go high fastball.
Breaking ball, little looper into center field. McCutchen can't get there. Escobar has his second hit of the night. Stayed on the breaking ball and flares it into center.
They tried high fastball, 0-2. That didn't work. Tried to come in with that sweeping breaking ball. That didn't work either. Pitch that was down, caught too much of the plate. Escobar with a good 2-strike approach. Pounds it into center field for a base hit.
Eric Thames, the right fielder. He had a single to center his first time up. Hot shot, one hopper right to the second baseman. Thames hit it hard, but Harrison is there. Carstens closes out the Blue Jays in the third. Beautiful 1-0 ball game going. Both pitchers off to a great start. Junior J Saturday will take place Saturday, July 2nd when the Blue Jays take on the Philadelphia Phillies. 50% off kids tickets. Kids 14 and under receive 50% off tickets to all Saturday home games. 200 outfield and 500 level seats only. Call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234 for tickets. You can log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Junior Jays Saturday. A lot of bonus. Roy Halladay will make his return to Toronto as he starts Game 2 of the Phillies series. Cleanup hitter Matt Diaz got a 2-strike single his first time up. Diaz is one of those guys that you really have a feeling he understands how to hit. He hit that breaking ball with 2 strikes, and looks like he's always sorting things out in his mind as to what he wants to look for.
Yeah, just watch him up at the plate after he swings, and you can see that his face is thinking about the next pitch.
Stays on this one and flips it into right. Eric Thames on the run, gets there. Eric Thames has been working hard with Torey Lovullo on his outfield play. He's playing in right field. Played 10 games in right field down in AAA and had a misplay here the other night when a ball bounced over his head.
One thing that Torey Lovullo is telling him, saying, Eric, just finish the play. You can't be in between plays. Go ahead and finish it. Run through those balls. If you feel like you have to dive, go ahead and do that. You've got guys to back you up. And he's been out here working very hard off the end of that fungo back. Torey has been wearing him out.
It's the only way you get better. Repetition. Lyle Overbay. The communication is important as Torey Lovullo continues to work with Thames during the course of a game. Torey will move him around in the outfield, so he's got to be aware of what the signals are and where he's going to play.
Focus, believe in yourself. He thinks he can be a pretty good outfielder because he's a good athlete.
This is one of the best coaching staffs the Blue Jays have ever had. They work hard. They are well prepared. We see it all the time. We're around them all the time. But Brian Butterfield, Bruce Walton, and Don Wakamatsu, always working on reports, always working on scouting and game plans.
It's not just here at the ballpark. I mean, they're the first ones to get to the ballpark every single day, these coaches. But we'll be on the flights after the game, and they'll be starting to get ready with their scouting reports for the next team and how they're going to defend and pitch to everybody. Luis Rivera right in there with them.
And they've got a lot of experience in coaching, and Rivera was the AA manager last year. He is what they're calling a coaching assistant. He's in uniform before the game, working with the infielders, and during the game, he's not allowed to stay in uniform, but he is getting a view from a different perspective, and he can share that information the next day with his coaching mates. Strike 3 call. There's that good curveball, and Overbay's down for a second time on strikes.
Brett was telling me the other day he'll use that curveball as an out pitch now, where earlier this year he might go right for that cutter. Now he is starting to put that into his game plan, and it's working for him.
Shortstop Ronnie Cedeno has been on a hot streak of late. Cuts on the first pitch. Cedeno 13 for 27 over that stretch.
And he has raised his batting average over those last 9 games by 30 points.
You gained a lot of ground at this point in the season. You're halfway through the season, and your batting average, you really have a tough time raising it. It goes down fast, but it doesn't climb up very
No,
fast.
it just seems like it goes down fast, doesn't it? You know, you get a couple of hits and you think you're going up 10 points. Not happening. You go 0 for 4 and it seems like it goes down 20.
What happened? And don't you know, at every ballpark, you look right up on the scoreboard and they're flashing that average at you every day. 50 pitches now through 3 2/3 for Brett Cecil.
You got to learn not to look at that scoreboard.
Yeah, that's easy for you to say.
Maybe the last week of September. That's when you start to look at it, because you can't do anything about your average then. You look up there and it can paralyze you if it's not very good.
Larry Parrish, the hitting coach for the Atlanta Braves, was telling us that was the situation with Dan Uggla, their second baseman. He said he stepped in the batter's box. Every time he looked up, it said 177. It's hard to deal with. Full count, 2 outs to Ronnie Cedeno, the shortstop. They walk. 2-out walk. Just the second walk that Cecil has issued tonight. Brandon Wood is the DH tonight. He struck out in his first at bat.
He was a big prospect for the Los Angeles Angels when he was a younger player. I mean, big time prospect. A middle infielder who had some power. Didn't he come up as a shortstop?
Yeah, and he always had that power potential. He had a 43 home run season in the California League back in 2005. 43 home runs in A-ball. I mean, that's a ton. But it just didn't carry through. But he hit home runs wherever he played. 25 in Double-A. 31 in Salt Lake City. His first year in Triple-A. But he never could get it going in the big leagues. Coming into this season, a 168 hitter in 173 games.
And a lot of strikeouts. I mean, a lot of strikeouts.
He and Sean Rodriguez were the 2 hot prospects in the Angels organization. There's a lazy fly ball into right. Thames drifting under it. Woods retired. Pirates go quietly in the 4th. But Cecil has found the groove. Here in the 4th inning. It's the halfway point of the season. We thought we would take a look at who we think has had the greatest start to their season. We both agree on Jose Bautista. You got to give him an A+ for his first half.
No question. His leadership, everything else that he brings to the table. Romero's been outstanding. Lynn being away from Escobar. How about this one too, Buck? For an A player, Jason Frazier has pitched very well out of the bullpen. You look at his numbers up and down, 6 holds, lefties hitting 150. They've asked him to pitch in different spots out of that bullpen. And I think he's done quite well.
Yes, he sure has. The league hitting just 200 against Jason Frazier. He's had a very good first half. Jose Bautista is out in front of that high pitch.
Well, he never gets cheated when he is at the plate. Bautista, a full extension, just a bit early.
And Karsten's reading the bat, went with the off-speed pitch, figuring that Bautista wouldn't be able to handle those pitches back-to-back. 3-1, Karsten's in a hole. He walks them. Lead off walk to start the 4th.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
Adam Lind will step in. He hit into a double play to end the first inning, a 4-6-3 double play. Blue Jays had a golden opportunity to score against Karstens in the first and couldn't do anything with it. They had first and third with nobody out. Bautista hit into a fielder's choice. Overbay made a good play to nail Escobar at the plate, and then Karstens got the double play.
And now it's the second time through. Let's see if the Blue Jay batters start to get a better read of what Karstens wants to do to him. He has not pitched against the Blue Jays since 2006, so these guys just don't have an idea of what he's going to try and do to him.
He's 2-0 against the Jays in his career. 1 win in relief, 1 win as a starter. That hit Karstens right back on the mound. He's able to knock it down, and that got him pretty good. Karstens had a broken leg back in 2007 when he got hit on the same type of play. Julio Lugo for the Red Sox hit him on a comebacker just like this. This time it looked like it hit him on the left leg as he was trying to get out of the way of it, and unfortunately for Lind, it stayed right there by his feet.
That one's going out into center field for a base hit. Yeah, right above the foot. And all he could do is pick it up and throw over to first base.
Julio Lugo was the first batter of the game Karstens faced. The first pitch of the ball game hit him on his right leg, and he suffered a fractured fibula. He was knocked out of that game. That was back in 2007. So you can see he's in some pain. Now they're going to let him throw a couple of pitches.
You see him working on landing. It was the landing foot that he got hit.
Brad Henderson out with the manager Clint Hurdle. Henderson, the head trainer here with the Pirates. Obviously, you're not going to feel the full impact of that shot off your leg right away. Lind hit it hard, but it hit the pitcher, and he was thrown out at first. Bautista moves into scoring position. Just 1 out. Off-speed pitch. Encarnacion takes it for a strike.
You know, we've been talking tonight about pitchers and using their fastball and changeup. It looks like Karstens does a little bit different way of upsetting the timing of the hitters with that breaking ball. And now the fastball at 91 probably looks about 97 to Encarnacion, but he's got that sweeping curveball that he will use to those right-handers. And so far in this game, they haven't been able to get that timing down.
One thing he's done very well is he's mixed his pitches. He hasn't fallen into a pattern. 0-2. There's that sweeping breaking ball for the strikeout. 3-pitch strikeout for Karstens.
You can just see how they are going up there, that the timing just isn't there. They're not picking it up right away. Encarnacion sees it there, and then it disappears, but he's out on his front foot. Watch how far out in front he is on that curveball. So this is going to take a while for them to get that timing down, and pay attention when you're on the bench.
If he can't pick something up in his delivery that might tip his hand. 2 outs, Aaron Hill takes a fastball. And this is exactly the way you want your pitcher to work. Throw fastballs when the hitter's looking breaking ball, and breaking balls when he's looking for fastball.
It doesn't take long for that fastball if you're looking for something off speed to get by you. Just a split second. Blue
Jays have had trouble hitting with runners in scoring position. They're 13th in the American League. The Indians got off to a great start for the first 2 months. They were over 300.
As a team, I think when they got here, they were about 320. They aren't hitting as many home runs, the Blue Jays, as they were last year. We showed that earlier. So you've got to hit with runners in scoring position. So far this season, it really hasn't worked for them.
1 for 10 in the game last night. It was a 2-1 game. They had 9 hits, but couldn't cash in with all the base running opportunities they had. Aaron Hill's not had the kind of season overall, but in these situations he's produced, hitting nearly 300. His overall batting average is 238. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Third base, D'Arnaud. Hill's retired. Karsten gets out of it again. The Blue Jays leave another base runner in scoring position. It's a 1-0 Pirate lead. Now time for a Jays Connected update. Here's Jamie and Greg from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Action tomorrow, the 2011 FIFA Women's World Cup. Japan will take on Mexico. It starts tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. That's 5:45 a.m. Pacific time, right here on Rogers Sportsnet. Great World Cup soccer action from Germany. Boy, what a beautiful evening it is here. Lake Ontario has been crowded with boats as everybody's getting ready for Canada Day. And we'll be right back here tomorrow when the Philadelphia Phillies are in town. Did you get the boat ready for tomorrow?
Yep, we're all set, big man.
Perfect.
Right after the game, we're going to go out there.
Good job.
Just
we need to relax.
Just put it on my Visa card.
Josh Harrison, little looper into center. That'll get down. Rajai Davis gets over to cut it off. Harrison can run. He's headed for second. The throw high. Boy, Josh Harrison stole that double right there. Came out of the box thinking 2 the whole way.
Well, he also knew that Rajai Davis was shading him over to right field. And when Brett Cecil threw a changeup and he pulled this pitch, he's got a long way to go to get to it. Backs off the ball instead of charging it. Plays it on 2 bounces, and that's all Harrison needs to get into scoring position. Right there, he is thinking 2. He's got his eye on that center fielder. He sees that Rajai backs up on it, plays it on a couple of hops, and he makes it easily.
Josh Harrison was called up from AAA Indianapolis on Tuesday. He was optioned down to AAA on the 23rd of June, so it's been a couple of different stints. He's now hit safely in 14 of his last 17 big league games. McHenry shows bunt, takes a strike. Number 9 hitter has to move this runner up.
You can see he hasn't had a whole lot of success hitting just 205, so they've got to figure out a way to get that run out there. to third base. Harrison can run. All you have to do is just get it on the ground. Let him do the rest.
There's the bunt. Cecil looks at third. He'll go to first, and Hill went down and scooped it out of the dirt. Looked like he bobbled it, but picked it up before McHenry could get there. They get the out, but Harrison moves over to third.
And that's exactly what McHenry did. He just got the ball down and let Josh Harrison's great speed get him to third base. Cecil thought about it, came off the mound, and he looked very quickly, but then realized, hey, I got to get an out. And that time threw it in the dirt, but very quickly Aaron Hill picks it up to record the out at first. He had a little bit more time.
Yeah, Hill did a nice job staying with that ball. They were able to get the catcher after the ball hit the dirt. Infield is in. Presley drives it to left. Corey Patterson gives ground. Tagging up at third is Harrison. Patterson's throw to the plate is going to be late. The Pirates have added to their lead. It's now a 2-0 game. Josh Harrison created a run with his speed.
He certainly did. Out of the box, getting into second base, getting to third, then on that sacrifice bunt, and then scoring easily on that sacrifice fly by Presley.
Bottom of the order, doing a good job there.
It's an offense that the Pirates have. They don't have like one guy in there that you fear. You know, there's a 30, 35 home run guy like a Ryan Howard, but they put together hits. They manufacture runs well.
Winning will create that kind of attitude. You can see how the little things will help you when you're winning ball games.
Easily, you're going to give yourself up to get that runner over to third base. You'll do everything you can to try and pick it up.
Ball is cued off the end of the bat. Patterson can't get there. It's off his glove. D'Orneau is headed for second. Now Patterson tracks it down. And D'Orneau stops at second. That'll be the second double of the inning. Patterson, that ball was slicing away from him. It looked like it was hit off the end of the bat. Had a lot of spin on it.
And cued away from him, but he does the right thing as he attacks it. The only bad thing about this, when he goes to try and catch it off the bounce, knocks it away from him. Patterson coming hard, reaches up and kicks it away from him off of his glove. And D'Orneau, who is an excellent athlete, almost runs into Lind. Umpire was all over that one. He was going to give him second anyway.
Yeah, the umpire saw that incidental contact and made a note of it, but D'Orneau got to second. Number 3 hitter Andrew McCutchen with a runner in scoring position. McCutchen was robbed of an extra base hit by Corey Patterson, who made a fine running catch in left to end the third. Fifth inning. Pittsburgh has taken a 2-0 lead. Now they're going to walk McCutchen after he had the count in his favor. Got a base open, and they'll have a fresh count and work to Matt Diaz.
Yeah, it almost backfired on him last time. McCutchen's had good numbers against left-handed pitching, so they will play percentages here with Matt Diaz.
Diaz 268 against lefty pitching. Not as hot as McCutchen has been, so they'll force his hand. 2 outs, a run in. First pitch strike.
Diaz started the year 1 for 19 versus left-handed pitching. Didn't see that one coming with his ability to do that in his career. 7 in his last 14 have been hits against the lefties.
And he's 1 for 2 again tonight. Baez was a great role player for the Atlanta Braves. Played a lot of left field for them as their right-handed part of a platoon system. Also a very good pinch hitter coming off the bench. Pops this one up. Thames backs up, waits for it, and Cecil gets out of it, but the Pirates had added a run. Sac fly by Alex Presley. 2-0 Pittsburgh lead. In the afternoon, but before baseball, it'll be the Rogers Sportsnet Hockey Central Free Agent Special. Darren Millard and a cast of thousands will help you break down the free agent signing date. It all begins at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. A lot of hockey players are waiting for that big day, free agent signing, when they can move. Brad Richards has been the source of a lot of discussion about where he might end up. And they'll have it all for you tomorrow at noon right here on Rogers Sportsnet. Corey Patterson bunts it right to Lyle Overbay. One out here in the fifth. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Francisco Cervelli caught that game today. Got 3 hits in the game. Drove in a couple of runs. The Yankees are starting to click. We mentioned Nick Swisher. 7 home runs in the month of June, in a very productive month. He's also driven in 23.
They're going to be getting Bartolo Colon back very soon, too.
Saturday, he should start against the Mets in the Interleague Series. Derek Jeter's not far behind him.
I think Monday, they're talking about Monday, getting back in that lineup.
J.P. Arancibia takes a fastball strike. Boy, Carson's works quickly, doesn't he?
Yeah, no wasted motions for Carson. Get it? Stay right on top of that rubber.
J.P. Arancibia has been battling with a sore thumb, and how has that affected him at the plate?
Just hasn't been able to extend through any of the pitches, and that's why the power numbers have dropped off a little bit. He's the last guy to tell you that he's hurt or he wants to come out of that lineup, but it's the thumb on the bottom hand there. And whenever he would try and finish his swing and try and get through it, the top hand would roll over onto that thumb and cause a lot of pain. The last couple of days, he was telling me that it's starting to feel a little bit better. So I'm sure we're going to start to see the numbers go up for him a little bit.
Well, the last thing a rookie wants to do is acknowledge that he can't play or needs some time off to get right. And the catcher, obviously, you're going to take a beating on that catching hand. So you don't want to march in the manager's office and say, hey, Skip, I can't play.
You know what happens then? They start labeling you. Say, oh, he's soft.
And catchers can't afford that label.
No, not at all. And he is not even close to being soft. He's a very tough kid.
Drives this one to left field. J.P. Arancibia, gone. Home run. Number 12 for Arancibia. The Blue Jays get one back.
That is how you extend through a ball. That's what J.P. Arancibia was missing when his thumb was giving him problems. Again, when he would try to finish his swing, that top hand would roll over. It starts to feel better, and here come the power numbers. Fastball right down Broadway, and Arancibia turns on it. Home run number 12 for J.P.
The sixth home run the Jays have hit in this series. You had mentioned earlier the Pirates have given up the long balls. That's 9 now in their last 5 games.
And that's a good sign. And gets him right back into the game.
Rajay Davis pops it up left field. Presley a long run, but he's got speed. 2 outs. Well, Arancibia dropped down in the order because he'd been struggling to find that stroke. That's the 15th home run Karstens has given up this season. It's the one thing Clint Hurdle's club doesn't have, the ability to strike back and get those runs back with one swing of the bat. Yunel Escobar, perfect 2 for 2. He's bumped his average up to 286. Drive left field, Escobar, home run. Number 9 for the Blue Jays shortstop, and that's the long ball that'll get you right back into the game.
And that's why the Jays, I think, are never out of games, because they have that ability to battle, and they have that ability to hit home runs. Escobar looked like he was fooled somewhat on that changeup from Karstens, but stays back and leans into that one. Just over the fence in left field. A good timing on that hitting right there as he sends it out for home run number 9. We are all tied.
Brand new ball game. Escobar's 3 for 3. Out in front, still had enough on it to knock it out of the yard.
Eric Thames not wasting any time either. That first pitch, he has swung at it all 3 at bats. And that's the kind of aggressiveness that you see in this young hitter.
Bounce to first. Overbay with the shovel to Karstens, and the Blue Jays are done here in the 5th. But 2 home runs in the inning have erased a Jeff Karstens 2-0 lead. J.P. Arancibia first, and then Yunel Escobar. He had the game winner last night. He's tied it tonight. Acknowledging the bullpen about getting that ball. And there's Dotel, who's always instigating. Frank Francisco acknowledging the home run that has tied it. Escobar with 9 home runs already this season. His career high is 14 with the Braves in 09.
He was probably asking Dotel if he got excited, as excited on his home run as he did against Eddie Encarnacion in St. Louis.
Dotel's very animated and certainly keeps things lively. Lyle Overbay struck out twice tonight against Brett Cecil. We are into the 6th inning in a brand new ball game. Change up down the stairs. So give me your impressions of Brett Cecil so far.
I think he's been pretty good. He has used his fastball like he said he was going to. Last inning there were a couple of hits right off the end of the bat. Before that he hadn't given up a hit since the 1st inning. His command I think has been a lot better. He walked a batter in the 3rd. And then the 4th, and then the intentional. But he's a better pitcher with a little bit more velocity that we saw earlier this year.
3-1 to Overbay. Fouls it back.
Body language plays a lot into it also. And John Farrell was talking about that before the game started, about what he was going to look for from Brett Cecil. And he was saying body language. His first 4 starts of the season, you can see this year he didn't have that confidence that he is showing here tonight.
Comes right back with the fastball. That's another thing John Farrell was really hoping would happen early in this game, that Cecil would get some outs with his fastball. That would give him confidence that he could go ahead and use that and establish that as his #1 pitch.
Yeah, it's one thing for throwing it in there and then getting hit. Another thing for throwing it in there and getting outs.
Popped up. Bautista, the 3rd baseman. Patterson coming from left field. They mess it up. Ball to second base is thrown away. Lynn's backing it up. Overbay's headed for 3rd. There'll be no throw. And nobody's at home. That's an ugly play.
The defense hasn't really helped out Brett Cecil here tonight. This has been a problem, it seems, the last couple of weeks when there are balls that are hit into the outfield. Somebody taking control and taking command. This is an easy out. Bautista calls for it early, but here comes Corey Patterson. And then they both miss it.
And then the ball gets away at second base. And Lynn wisely holds on to it. Overbay ends up at 3rd. Bautista and Patterson had a similar play in the outfield in Cincinnati that led to an inside the park home run.
He's saying, I've got it. You can see that Corey Patterson is calling him off, but then doesn't follow through to make the play.
It's a double for Overbay. An error on the shortstop who made the throw that allowed Overbay to go from 2nd to 3rd. So Escobar gets charged with the error, his 8th of the season. Infield is drawn in this 2-2 game. Cedeno pops it out of play.
They also charged an error to Rajay Davis last inning on that ball that was hit out to him by Josh Harrison. I guess they felt that the throw, if it was down, they were going to get him at second base.
I can't agree with that at all. That's a double all the way, not an error on Davis.
I agree.
But that's the way it's been scored. Second error of the night coming in this inning.
Once again, Corey Patterson, the left fielder, calls it. And on fly ball priority, if the outfielder calls it, that's his ball. And right at the last second, it looked like Jose Bautista backed off for him to catch it.
And that's happened all too frequently this year. Having balls fall in the outfield. Obviously, Bautista has just moved back into the infield from right. This is his third game. 2-2, nobody out. Overbay in third. That'll score it. Thames on the run. It's off the warning track, up against the wall. Overbay jogs in from third. Cedeno will stop at second, and just like that, the Pirates have retaken the lead. Shaky defense contributing to the Pirates' run.
A couple of doubles, one of them that should have been an out. That one probably would have been caught with nobody on base, just trying to make contact, get the ball into the outfield. And Cedeno has been swinging hot bat. He's raised his average over 30 points the last 10 games. Thames can't catch up with that one. Got to play it on the bounce.
So the DH now will bat with nobody out. Overbay, the pop-up double, has scored the third Pirate run of the game. Brandon Wood 0 for 2. Wood was claimed off the waiver wire by the Pirates back on the 22nd of April. He was designated for assignment by the Angels, and they put him on the waiver wire. Pittsburgh had a need for an infielder. He's made 19 starts at third and 7 starts at shortstop.
Their regular third baseman, Pedro Alvarez, is on the disabled list. So they needed another bat, someone with a little major league experience.
There's a fly ball left field. This ball is hit a ton. Patterson at the wall. Home run, Brandon Wood. A 2-run shot here in the 6th inning. His third home run of the season. We had mentioned that throughout his minor league career, he'd been a big home run hitter, and we see the power.
It hadn't transferred into the big leagues yet. Well, you can see why teams can get excited about Brandon Wood. He has got some natural strength, high pitch, and right in the wheelhouse. One of those high arcing home runs that we see from big home run hitters. And it gets over the wall for home run number 3.
Pirates lead it 5-2. Brandon Wood getting the start against the left-hander in the DH spot tonight. Josh Harrison doubled and scored in the 5th. You see the single, that's the scoring, and that's my mistake. They have ruled it a single and an error, but
we can still disagree about it, can't we? That's a tough error.
One ball, 2 strikes. Still nobody out here in the 6th. But Cecil deserved a better fate this inning. Ball was popped up into the outfield. Patterson, Davis. Davis calls him off. Fans, a reminder, you can see the Dudesons here weeknights at 8:30. The 4 Finnish guys who take extreme comedy to new levels. The Dudesons, crazy humor and insane action weeknights at 8:30 Eastern and Pacific on OLN. OLN is now available in HD. First out of the inning. The catcher, Michael McHenry, had a sac bunt his last time up. He drives it down the left side, but that'll reach the seats. Jose Bautista back in the infield. He and Corey Patterson couldn't get their signals together and let a ball drop. Led to a leadoff double off the bat of Lyle Overbay. Routine pop-up just behind third.
And then the throwing error trying to get him at second base allowed him to get the third. Puts a little bit of extra pressure on the pitcher. He's got to go out of the stretch now instead of one out, nobody on. Now up to 90 pitches. And we saw at the last parts of the road trip how much easier innings become when you get that first batter.
McHenry fouls it out of play. McHenry was picked up from the Boston Red Sox on the 12th of June. Pittsburgh just needing some depth behind the plate, and he was at Pawtucket. Started out the spring with the Colorado Rockies. Stays on that breaking ball and lifts it to center. Carrying a bit, forces Davis to back up. 2 down.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
2 outs, 6th inning. Pirates have taken a 5-2 lead. While Overbay had the double, followed by Ronnie Cedeño's RBI double and a 2-run home run by Brandon Wood. Top of the order. Alex Presley's had a good series. Tripled in his first at bat, walked in the third, and had a sac fly in the 5th. He also picked up his first big league home run Tuesday night.
Got a stolen base. He's played some good left field for him. His throws back to the infield have been very accurate.
Waves at that breaking ball. He's in a hole 0-2.
He was their minor league player of the year last year. Nice to be able to send one of your better players to the DL and then go down to the minor leagues and find a kid like this.
Two. Strike 3 called. Cecil finally ends the 6th with a strikeout. But the Pirates, taking advantage of some shaky defense, put up a 3 spot and have taken a 5-2 lead. In the TV comfort zone are the Duke of Edinburgh's award winners. Have a front row seat on a beautiful night here at Rogers Center. Congratulations to them and enjoy the ball game. Well, Blue Jays have some work to do. They're down by 3. Bautista, Lind, and Encarnacion will start things off, and before we start, we're going to have a little pitcher meeting here. Jeff Karstens was hit on the left leg by a comeback back in the 4th inning, but showing no problems with that at all.
Giving up the home runs last inning. A couple of home runs.
Bautista goes after the first pitch.
It's been a heck of a month for Karstens.
How about that? Great ERA, 131 for the month of June. Only Cliff Lee, Jordan Zimmerman, and Justin Verlander have pitched to a lower ERA than Jeff Karstens.
Figure that out. 1.3 earned run average in 5 starts. This is his 6th start in the month of June. And you say, okay, well, my ERA is 1.3, which is pretty good. Well, there's 3 pitchers better than that.
Yeah. And a lot better. Especially Cliff Lee. We'll get to see Cliff Lee on Sunday afternoon. He'll come into town looking for his 4th straight shutout. Lee is 5-0 with a 0.21 ERA in the month of June.
He's due.
Well, it's July. He won't be the same.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It will be July, so he is due.
He doesn't have a chance. What a pitcher, huh?
Yeah.
A great weekend series for pitching. Ricky Romero, Roy Halladay, and Cliff Lee starting in the series. 3-1 to Bautista. Hot shot. Darno's done a good job all series long. First out of the 6th. Going to be a great weekend of baseball here. 3 afternoon games at Rogers Center. The Phillies are in town. Kyle Kendrick against Ricky Romero. Roy Halladay goes up against Carlos Villanueva, and Cliff Lee against JoJo Reyes. Log on to BlueJays.com for tickets, or you can call the Blue Jays directly at 416-341-1234. You can always stop by Rogers Plus locations and pick up your tickets. A great weekend of baseball. Canada Day, Friday afternoon. It all starts with Ricky Romero going to the mound Friday at 1:07.
Check out some of those earned run averages of those pitchers that we're going to see this weekend. Kyle Kendrick, 3.2. Romero, 2.7. That is on Friday. We all know about Halladay. He's at 2.4. Carlos Villanueva is at 3.1. His 5-1 record, testament to that.
Roy Halladay second in the National League in ERA to Jair Jurgens of the Braves. Cliff Lee is 6th. He and Karstens are tied as we speak.
At 2.66. That's pitching.
Ricky Romero's in the top 10 as well in the American League ERA department. Breaking ball cut on, missed. Lynn strikes out. Karstens has picked it up a notch. 2 quick outs here in the 6th. Ricky Romero is 6th in the American League at 274. Edwin Encarnacion cuts on the fastball. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. The Pirates are up 5-2.
Karstens looking pretty confident after the Pirates scored 3 runs in the top of the inning. He's got a few runs to work with.
Out in front of that breaking ball.
They just haven't been able to time it up all night long, the right-handers.
Back and forth, in and out. Karstens done a good job. He's staying unpredictable as well. The Pirates, when they get 6 innings from their starting pitcher, they are 30-21. You know, Escobar's had quite a night at the plate. A couple of singles, a home run. And he is right now trying to figure out how Blue Jays are going to come back in this game. Pirates have pretty good bullpen. Anchored by Joel Hanrahan. Hot shot. Cedeno's been great with the glove all year long. Karsten's taking advantage of the good infield defense. Mixing and matching. We have played 6 innings here at Rogers. Brett Cecil will go back out for the 7th. Nick Punto came back on the active roster, and they're starting to get well and certainly taking advantage of that Oriole ballpark. Brett Cecil out for the 7th. For the Pirates, it'll be Dorneau, McCutchen, and Matt Diaz. Chase Dorneau in his first go around with the Pirates, called up from AAA. Good looking player.
Yeah.
Handled everything at third defensively.
Yeah, he's made a couple of errors the last few nights, but you see good athleticism. You see the ability to adapt at the big league level. He's hit in now 5 of his last 6 games. He was a 4th-round draft pick of the Pirates back in 2008 and got to the big leagues very quickly.
He and Eric Thames were teammates in college. They played at Pepperdine out in Malibu, California. Dorneau played third base his first 2 years, then shortstop. Eric Thames was an outfielder, of course. Thames was drafted the same year in the 7th round. There's that good changeup, and Dorneau's retired.
Changeup has been a good pitch for Brett Cecil tonight as he racks up his 6th strikeout. Pulls the string on that one and has Dorneau out in front. This is a good sign as Dotel starts to loosen up in the bullpen. John Farrell sends him back out there for the 7th inning.
Well, I think he's really interested in rebuilding the confidence of Brett Cecil, and you send him back out. The ball is driven toward right center. Thames on the run. This ball is off the wall. McCutchen coasts into second with a stand-up double. Got good power to the opposite field. That's his 17th double of the season.
He has also driven in a run in 4 of his last 6 games, and that's why they have him right in an RBI spot. He's hit 4th the last 2 nights. They drop him into the 3rd. Tonight drives that ball over the head of Thames. Extra bases. Pirates 8 hit now.
So Brett Cecil's night has come to an end. John Farrell takes the baseball from him. He will go 6 1/3, and he trails 5-2. Bullpen will come on. It'll be Octavio Dotel, the right-hander. Work to Matt Diaz when we come back to Rogers Center. third. He throws 100 pitches right on the nose. His ball-to-strike ratio was a good one, but the defense let him down into the sixth when the Pirates scored 3 runs.
A couple of errors help magnify that inning. Octavio Dotel into the game. Dotel used to pitch for the Pirates. Signed by the Pirates in January of 2010. He was traded to the Dodgers for James McDonald, who's become a good pitcher in that starting rotation for Pittsburgh. Dotel against right-handers has been very good this year.
Dotel had 21 saves for the Pirates in the first part of 2010. He went from Pittsburgh to L.A. and ended up with the Colorado Rockies. Matt Diaz, the cleanup hitter tonight. Dotel's done a great job against right-handed hitters. He's got that live fastball, and right-handers have had a tough time against Dotel.
Another pitch that has worked for him against those righties is that slider that he has. As long as he establishes that fastball against him, he can use that slider to get strikeouts.
Right-handers have hit 176 against Dotel. Dotel had some arm problems in the spring, and the numbers and lefties have had more success against Dotel. John Farrell has really been conscious of making sure that Dotel has matched up when he brings him into a game. He brings him in here with Diaz as that first batter.
It's one of the things that good managers will do is they work their bullpen. He will look at the matchups. He's got all the numbers just like we do. And he will work them into the game when he feels like the matchup is in his favor.
And then the players have to come through. If Dotel can get Diaz, then Farrell would have the opportunity to put Overbay on. 0-2. This looks McCutchen back. These two were teammates last year at the start of the season. So he knows McCutchen can run.
15 for 20 in stolen bases this year is McCutchen.
Diaz asks for time at home. You can see McCutchen was inching off, and Dotel just kept his eye on him, and finally Diaz said that's too long. And McCutchen trying to get a bigger lead. Diaz singles it into right field. McCutchen will come around third. He will score as Matt Diaz picks up the 2-strike RBI single. Well, he stays behind the ball very well and picks up that insurance run. Now it's a 4-run Pittsburgh lead.
What good hitters do with 2 strikes and runners in scoring position. Ball on the inner half. He grits his teeth. Inside out swing will pick up that run. Thames gets it back into the infield quickly. Diaz picks up the RBI. Just his 12th of the season.
While Overbay, he had that pop-up double that started that mess in the 6th. Popped up behind third base. Patterson and Bautista couldn't get their signals straight. They let it fall. Overbay ended up at third on the air by Escobar, trying to throw out Overbay at second. Good breaking ball. That pitch has improved for Dotel as the season's gone on. And that will help him attack the lefty hitters.
Yeah, if he can move it in and out against them. You're right, that pitch wasn't there early on this season. That's why lefties have taken advantage of him.
And you have the breaking ball in your mind, and the fastball sneaks up on you.
Throws it right by you. The Blue Jays don't think that Lyle Overbay is going to be waiting around on any pitches. They think he's going to try and get the head out and try and pull it. Look at that defense. That's Jose Bautista playing about straightaway shortstop. Overbay has always hit the ball the other way well. He has always gone right back through the middle well, too. That's why Escobar is standing behind second base.
Bouncing ball. Hill goes to second for one. And Escobar really dropped down, and Diaz just wiped him out. Diaz with the hard slide at second base.
Taking out his former teammate in Atlanta. Ball wasn't hit that hard. Hill gives him a good throw. Nothing wrong with that one. That's a clean slide. The right leg might have come up a little high. Just trying to kick out the legs of Escobar.
2 down. That was really an unusual play at second. We don't see Escobar coming down that low very often. But Diaz was right on top of him, and honestly, didn't even look like he tried to make a throw. But he ended up hitting Diaz with the baseball as Diaz slid into second. Blue Jays couldn't turn 2. Two outs. Ronnie Cedeno with a 2-0 count. Bouncing ball to short. Force at second, and the Pirates are retired, but they add another insurance run. They've taken a 4-run lead here in the middle of the seventh. Slide at second base by Matt Diaz is upset, and obviously we don't know the background of those two, but they did play together in Atlanta. But that was a very curious double play attempt by Escobar. Just watch the arm action of the shortstop. I mean, it was a tough feed that Escobar got. Kind of hung him out to dry a little bit. He had to wait and shift his feet, make sure he got the force out. But Diaz, nothing wrong with the slide in my estimation.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to go under for some reason. We've never seen, go underneath like that. He's usually staying right on top of the throw.
Carstens falls behind Hill, leading off the seventh. There's a strike. Brett Cecil, his first start since April 20th, pitched into the seventh. Ronnie Cedeno deep at short. One down. Brett Cecil goes 6 1/3 in his return to the big leagues.
Gave up the 8 hits. They've now made it 9 because they changed one of those balls to an error. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. He'll be charged with 6 earned runs. Defense could have helped him out a little bit.
No telling how that 6th inning plays out if they make the catch on the Overbay pop-up. But pitchers, too, they have to pick up their defense from time to time. Ended up with 2 doubles and a home run in that 3-run inning.
Yeah, you have to come out and you pitch in the stretch, and a lot of thoughts go through your mind about changing things up.
Corey Patterson on the ground to Overbay. 2 outs. Corey Carson's done a good job of keeping the ball on the infield. He elevated a couple of pitches in the 5th inning, a couple of home runs. But other than that, he's had everything on the ground.
Down on the ground, just a couple of strikeouts. He's not a strikeout pitcher. Came into this game with just 53. Right now, the Blue Jays haven't been able to figure out his curveball. Haven't been able to stay back and wait for it.
J.P. Arencibia hit his 12th home run his last time up. Has a good look at that breaking ball. Off-speed pitch popped up. Overbay doesn't see it. Parsons doesn't see it. The ball is a foul ball. Nobody saw it. You can see Overbay throw his hands up immediately. He lost it. It's still twilight here at Rogers Center. Ball went up, and Clint Hurdle a little frustrated, much like John Farrell earlier in the ball game.
That's just a strike because the ball didn't travel 90 feet. As soon as the ball went up, the whole right side of the infield threw their hands up saying, I don't see it. Karstens did for a moment, and then he lost it. And watch where it bounces.
Another one. We'll try it again, JP said. The catcher doesn't see it. Karsten now finds it, and the catcher makes a catch. Michael McHenry. He finally located it. Karstens saw it at the end, but McHenry picks him up. Tough sky, but the catcher hung in there and retires J.P. Arencibia. Interesting inning, but the catcher ends it. Romero will open things up on Friday afternoon. Roy Halladay will start for the Phillies on Saturday afternoon. And Cliff Lee on a great run, 3 consecutive shutouts. He'll start for Philadelphia on Sunday afternoon. So if you like pitching, come on out to Rogers Center. 3 afternoon games. Kyle Kendrick will go up against Ricky Romero in the opener. Roy Halladay will take on Carlos Villanueva on Saturday. And the series wrap up, a couple of left-handers. Cliff Lee against JoJo Reyes. You can log on to BlueJays.com for tickets. Call the Blue Jays directly at 416-341-1234. And you can stop by most Rogers Plus locations. It's supposed to be a spectacular Canada Day weekend, so come on out and watch some great baseball.
You had some great pitching, and I know the fans are going to want to come back and see Roy Halladay pitch on Saturday.
Ricky Guerrero anxious to start this series. The temperature predicted to be 27 and sunny, and it is absolutely perfect over the weekend. So come on out and watch some great baseball. The Philadelphia Phillies will be in town. Mark Zepchinski starts things off. Throws a first pitch strike to Brandon Wood. Wood had a 2-run home run his last time up. It's this ball into center field. Rajay Davis showing a lot of speed. He and Thames get together. Davis makes the running catch.
Davis runs that one down. Here in the 8th inning for Mark Zepchinski. His number is 36 games. That is good for 3rd in the American League. He also leads the club in holds with 9. Lefties hitting 172 against Zep. Last time we saw him was on the 27th at Detroit. Pitched just 1/3 of an inning, but was charged with that loss against the Tigers.
Second baseman Josh Harrison. 1 for 3 tonight. Zepchinski in his first year out of the bullpen has really done a good job. Quite a transition when you go from starting pitcher to relief pitcher. There's another fly ball. Thames backs up. 2 outs.
The thrill of racing returns with the Honda Indy Toronto. Catch all the adrenaline and excitement July 8th to 10th. Get your tickets at HondaIndyToronto.com.
Mark Zepchinski, 2 quick outs here in the 8th inning.
That's a good sign. Zepchinski's got a good fastball with late tailing action, so his numbers against right-handers should be a little bit better. Righty's hitting 281 against Zepchinski. He's also got a good breaking ball.
The key to being a good relief pitcher, in my estimation, is throwing a lot of strikes. Putting the pressure on the hitter right out of the chute. Come in, throw strikes, command the strike zone, make quality pitches, and get in, get out.
Scott Downs did such a good job of that last year as the main left-hander out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays. And Zepchinski's got some big shoes to fill, but I think he's up to it. This has been his problem right here. You get a couple of outs, and the next thing you know, to the number 9 hitter, he's 3-0.
Yeah, it's all about the mindset when you come into a game. You think, okay, well, I got 2 quick hits, and I'll just flip up the 3rd one, and now he's fallen behind. And then you have to groove a couple of pitches, and any hitter is a much better hitter when he's got a 3-1 count.
And I think that will come for him as he gets a little bit more acclimated to pitching in short spurts.
Ground ball. Bautista has it. Zepchinski has a 1-2-3 8th inning. Middle of the 8th. It's time now for a Jays Connected update. Here's Jamie and Greg from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. charge of the infield defense. He's having a talk with Jose Bautista, who has just moved back to third base, and you've got to believe it's about tracking that pop-up and listening for the outfielders to call it.
There's always something going on. There's some teaching going on between Brian Butterfield and his infielders. Chris Rhysop into the game, 38 games. He has done a good job coming out of that pen as a right-handed setup man. Batters hitting just .224 against him. He has retired 28 of the first 38 first batters this season. Throws lots of strikes. Tough to work walks off of low hits per innings pitched. In the bullpen of the Pirates, and you mentioned it a couple of innings ago, you got to get to them because when they come into the game, they have been very good of late.
Rhysop worked a third of an inning on Tuesday night. He came in after Tony Watson started. Watson gave up back-to-back home runs to Corey Patterson and Edwin Encarnacion. Rhysop came in, struck out Eric Thames, and then walked Bautista and turned things over to Jose Veras. Rajay Davis makes the first pitch strike. Blue Jays trail by 4. 0-2. Overbay. 1 out.
He's been very busy over there at first base. That's 8 in a row now set down by the Pirates.
15 ground ball outs tonight.
If he's not catching them, he is on the receiving end of it. A lot of ground ball outs.
Big night for Yunel Escobar. His average up to 289. He's 3 for 3 with a home run. It's the first pitch strike.
No tricks from Chris Rhysop as he comes out of the bullpen. It's basically fastball away to the right-handers. He'll wrinkle a slider up there every now and then. But there's lots of strikes.
Popped out of play along the right side. One and 2 to Yunel Escobar, trying to get something going here with 1 out in the 8th. Blue Jays have the ability to strike quickly. They had 4 home runs in the game on Tuesday night. 2 more again here tonight. Get a couple guys on, somebody runs into one, you're right back in the ball game.
And that's what you got to be thinking about as Thames gets ready on deck. It'll be tough against some of these Pirate relievers when leading after 8 innings. Joel Hanrahan, a big reason why they are 36-0 after 8 innings.
The way it stands right now, this is not a save situation. Hanrahan is a perfect 23 for 23 closing out games and picked up saves. He's just 1 off the Pirate record. Michael Gonzalez saved 24 in a row in 2006. Full count. Blue Jays need base runners. Been a quick game. The lights haven't taken full effect here at Rogers Center. There's the 1 out walk. Escobar is on for a 4th time. Big weekend with the Phillies in town. It'll be the series finale on Sunday. Mr. Sub Sports Bag Day. The Phillies game will start at 1:07 p.m. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Mr. Sub Sports Bag. Call the Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. You can also log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Big weekend finale on Sunday. Cliff Lee will go to the mound for the Phillies against JoJo Reyes. Eric Thames takes the ball downstairs.
I like this matchup right here. Resop going to use his fastball. Ray Searage is sprinting out of the dugout of the Pirates. He is the pitching coach for the Pittsburgh Pirates. But this matchup here, fastball pitcher, fastball hitter.
Well, the one thing you don't want to see if you're Ray Searage or Clint Hurdle is those base on balls. You talk about the Blue Jays' power. There's power up and down this lineup. You put a couple guys on, somebody runs into one, and then you're in trouble.
Walk-in hitters right before the home run hitters. That's not a very good combination.
And there's a home run hitter on deck. One out. Good rip of the fastball. He doesn't take a bad cut. He might miss some pitches, but he's always 100% committed to his swing.
Seems like he's right on it. Yesterday, he took a pitch that was away from him and showed you the type of power that he has in that bat.
Home run against Paul Mahalam to the opposite field. The Pirates have had success when they run that fastball up and away to Eric Thames.
And I'm sure they're going to go right back there, challenge him again.
Resop struck him out on Tuesday night on a high fastball away. Snap throw to Overbay. Two and two. Struck him out, stayed upstairs with the fastball, and Thames strikes out.
Again, that's a tough pitch to lay off of when you're anxious and you just see it because it's about eye level. And you feel like you can get on top of it and hit it out of the ballpark. But Eric Thames swings right through that one. Resop has his first strikeout.
Jose Bautista 0 for 2 with a walk. Popped out of play. Pirates have had a couple of problems with pop-ups last inning. J.P. Arencibia popped up twice in the 7th inning. The first one landed in fair territory, but didn't cross the first base bag, so it bounced into foul ground. And then on same at bat, he popped up again.
Next pitch, everybody missed it, lost it up in the sky until right at the last second, the catcher McHenry saw it and made the out. It's a helpless feeling.
Oh man, you know it's up there and you know it's coming down, but you don't know where it is. This Resop, first inning of work in relief of Jeff Karstens. Fastball upstairs. He gets the strikeout. He comes out of the bullpen and strikes out 2. We have played 8 innings here at Rogers Center. Now it's time for a preview of what's coming up on Connected. Here's Ken Reed. July 12th. Rogers Sportsnet will be there. On July 11th, the 2011 MLB Home Run Derby will take place. Jose Bautista is figuring on being in that home run hitting contest. That's Monday, the workout day. The game will take place on Tuesday night, July 12th. Rogers Sportsnet will have all the coverage from Phoenix. Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn will be right there for all the action. They'll be able to break down the entire festivities at the All-Star game. Sean Kemp coming on to work the ninth. Mark Zebczynski at a 1-2-3 eighth inning. Kemp pitched an inning in the series opener. Gave up a walk and a single. There's a bouncing ball. Lynn comes after it, makes the play. Presley's retired to start the ninth.
That's what you'll get with Sean Kemp when he's working that sinker. Beat it into the ground. Infield's got to be very ready. Third on the team in appearances now for Sean Kemp. This is number 35. He is right in line. He's averaged about 70 games a year for his career.
Blue Jays relievers have gotten a little bit of a break of late as the starters have stretched out their outings and pitched deeper into a ball game. Chase Dorneau. First pitch strike. Nothing like the feel of a brand new baseball.
I know.
Oh, 0-2.
I got mine right here.
You know what? I just had a flashback. The smell of that brand new baseball when they used to be horsehide, and you'd open up the box and take it out. And that's the first thing I did. I always wanted to smell what it smelled like.
There are certain smells in baseball, right, that bring back memories.
AT TOR. Broken back, grounder to short. Escobar. 2 down. But I saw that baseball, and I had a vivid sense of what that baseball used to smell like. They've changed since they've gotten to horsehide, but boy, when you get that ball, that old horsehide baseball, and put up your nose and smell it, that distinct smell, man.
How about when there's like pine tar rubbed on it, or rosin or something like that?
I got another smell for you. How about the bubble gum in the baseball cards?
Oh.
That was absolutely distinctive.
That's the first thing you would do when you would go to the dime store. Get that baseball card.
Couldn't wait to get that brittle old pink bubble gum. But it had a special smell. Andrew McCutchen. Interesting night. He driven in a run, scored a run, and hit a double. Hits this ball high into center field. Davis is there. McCutchen is retired. The Pirates go quietly in the ninth. But the Blue Jays will bat bottom of the ninth, trailing by 4. Adam Lind will try to get things going. Only from Rogers.
Blue Jays came out swinging tonight after a couple of hits. They had runners on first and third after a force out. Adam Lind on a 4-6-3 double play. Harrison to Cedeno to Overbay, in the middle of the Pirate defense has been great over the last 50 or 60 games. That is Cedeno on your left and Josh Harrison on your right.
Harrison gets the start tonight and has an impact early on. Garrett Jones comes on defensively to take over in right field for Matt Diaz. New pitcher for Pittsburgh will be Tony Watson. Watson came in to the game on Tuesday night. He faced Corey Patterson and Edwin Encarnacion, gave up back-to-back home runs, didn't get an out.
And a good time here for the manager, Lynn Hurdle. When you fall off the horse, get back out there as soon as possible. He doesn't want Watson to be stewing and thinking about that last appearance, so he gets him out there, try to get some confidence. He will face a left-hander to begin with.
Right back up on the horse. Adam Lynn has hit the ball hard a couple of times tonight. Not much to show for it. Hit one right off the leg of Jeff Karstens, the starting pitcher in the fourth. Karstens recovered and threw him out. Watson delivers the first pitch strike. Pirates broke the game open with a 3-run sixth inning, capped off by Brandon Wood's third home run, a 2-run shot to left.
We were talking the other day about the ability to move from Double-A to the big leagues. Watson was in Double-A just last year for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Did a good job for him.
The closer is the right-hander, Joel Hanrahan. He's on the left. The other right-hander is Jose Veras. Lynn stays alive. It's 2-2. He's trying to start things up here in the ninth inning. Blue Jays trailed 2-0 and then got home runs from J.P. Arancibia and Yunel Escobar in the fifth. This ball is popped up. Josh Harrison, fair ground, makes the catch, 1 out. Pirates will wrap up this series, and then tomorrow Ricky Romero will start the Philadelphia Phillies series. He'll go up against Kyle Kendrick. Romero 7-7 with a very good ERA of 2.74. Clint Hurdle takes the ball from Tony Watson, and he has a good outing, gets his man. 1 out here in the ninth. with one out. Jose Veras making his second appearance of this series.
280 earned run average for Veras. He has made 6 straight scoreless appearances, covering 7 innings. A big right-hander, throws hard. He's got a good little splitter. So a chance now to get some work also after Watson gets the only batter that he faces.
Edwin Encarnacion is 0 for 3. Blue Jays have been held to just 5 hits tonight.
Veras came into the game the other night and stranded 3 runners.
Good fastball, but it's outside.
We're going to have to start putting up some nets down that left field line when Encarnacion is up. He's getting the head out.
And hopefully everybody is okay. I don't know if that's just fear or what, but that ball was coming down there 150 miles an hour. This ball is popped up into foul ground. Overbay over near the seats. And makes the catch. He knows this ballpark very well. Ball came back toward the playing surface and he stayed with it. 2 outs.
Stayed right with it. That one he could see. He goes over, gives the stands one quick look, finds it, and then makes the out. Overbay was the first baseman a couple of innings ago. When the ball went up in the twilight sky, he just couldn't find it. Pirates trying to win their first road series of interleague play since 2003.
Beat Tampa Bay in 2003. That's the last time they've won an interleague series on the road.
17 straight road series in interleague play that they have lost. It's a different Pirates team than the one we have seen over the last few years.
Ken McCutcheon's done a good job for them. Got a chance to go to the All-Star game. Ball on the strike, 2 outs. Ball is popped up. That'll be back out of play. Pirates also trying to win for the 16th time in the month of June. That would be the most wins in 1 month since August of 2007. And it's been a long drought. This is a different Pirates ball club.
Getting very good defense in the middle of the diamond. Getting very good starting pitching. And they've had to do it with a lot of injuries to their regulars.
Milwaukee has lost to the New York Yankees 5-0 this afternoon. So if the Pirates win, they would close to within 2 games of first place. Breaking ball drilled to left field. It is high and deep. And it is off the top of the fence. It bounces back into play. Hill is headed for third. Hit right on top of the fence and stayed in the ballpark. Keeps the Jays' hopes alive.
There is a bar that runs right along the top of that fence. Sometimes you can hit it on top of it and it will bounce out like we saw with Eric Thames in last night's game. Sometimes you will hit it and it will bounce back on the top of the off the top of the wall and back into play. That time you see it comes back in. McCutcheon backs it up. Watch where it comes down. Ricochets back in. Aaron Hill circles the bases with his first triple of the season.
And that snaps an over 14 stretch for Aaron. Corey Patterson trying to keep things going here in the ninth. Patterson is grounded out 3 times tonight. Aaron Seavey is on deck. He's homered. Hill's triple, just the 6th Blue Jay hit of the night. Jeff Carson, Chris Reesop, Tony Watson, and now Jose Veras for the Pirates. Two and one. Catches the line drive to win the series for Pittsburgh. They come in and take 2 of 3 from the Blue Jays, and that's their first interleague road series win since 2003. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon. The Phillies series begins at 1:07. Now it's time for Jays Connected. Here's Jamie and Greg from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio.